Lisa works as a speech therapist, skilled at finding an approach to even the youngest patients. But Lisa has no children of her own. After her shift, Lisa's colleague, Juliet, asked how her search for a new apartment was going. Lisa replied that everything was fine, however the apartment felt a bit cramped for her and her husband. Juliet invited Lisa to join her and a few other girls from the hospital for a night out at a bar on Friday, but Lisa doubted her husband would like the idea. The wedding ring on Lisa's finger was a constant reminder that she had to be a good wife. However, in the rented, still nearly empty apartment, no one was waiting for her, no one shared dinner with her. Lisa worked on paperwork late into the night. Suddenly an old house on the opposite side of the road caught her attention. There was something darkly captivating about it. Lisa was haunted by nightmares intertwined with her past. And she had no one to share the weight on her soul with, because she was alone. In the morning on her way to work, Lisa saw a crowd gathered near the house across the street. A passerby told Lisa that a body had been found there. A lonely man had died in his chair 30 years ago. All this time the house had been considered abandoned. Lisa immersed herself in her daily work routine until she received an unexpected call. Andre René Benville, the man found dead in the house across the street, had left her all his property. Lisa assured the lawyer that she had never known this man, who had died 30 years ago. Lisa had no family, so it was unlikely he was some distant relative. The lawyer explained that her name was explicitly stated in the will and that it was legally binding. Moreover, the will included a reference to the Bible. The lawyer led Lisa into the house, struggling to unlock the old door. Since no one had been here for a long time, all the mechanisms had rusted. Of course the house needed repairs, but it was very spacious and would have been perfect for a large family, something Lisa unfortunately did not have. In any case, it was now her house, and it was up to her to decide what to do with it. Later, Lisa found the Bible passage Andre Benville had referenced in his will. The scripture read, "I am the door, whoever enters through me will be saved." Lisa also discovered that Andre Benville had purchased the house in 1947. There was no information about the seller or the year the house was built. On the internet, Lisa found a book written by Andre Benville, When You Get Lost. Despite everything, Lisa had no intention of refusing such a gift from an unknown benefactor. Her attention was drawn to the eerie pattern on the walls, barely visible beneath the peeling wallpaper. Without delay, Lisa moved her belongings in, gradually settling into her new home. Perhaps this was her chance for a fresh start. The next day, Lisa tried to break through the brick wall that had sealed off the fireplace. At last she succeeded. At that moment Lisa heard strange noises coming from the opposite wall. Lisa tore the remaining old wallpaper off the wall. Still, what kind of pattern was this? Lisa went down to the basement, attempting to deal with the rusted boiler. Clearly everything in the house had ceased functioning after 30 years of abandonment. Upon seeing the skeleton of some animal, Lisa recoiled in horror. Her efforts paid off. Water began flowing from the bathtub faucet, first murky, then clear. On Friday, Lisa finally met up with her colleagues at the bar. When Lisa went to get some wine, a handsome man started flirting with her. Lisa firmly stated that she was married. After drinking a little with Juliet and the other girls, Lisa sat in her car, watching the man. At one point their eyes met. That night, they found themselves alone in Lisa's car in the parking lot, about to give in to passion. But at some point Lisa asked the man to stop and get out of the car. He didn't insist and left. Suddenly Lisa's attention was drawn to an old dusty car. It seemed like no one had driven it for a long time. Lisa drifted back into her past, and at some point she found herself drowning in a deep lake. It was yet another nightmare, from which Lisa woke up. Once again strange noises echoed from behind the wall. Listening closely, Lisa caught the sound of screams. Lisa made the decision to break down the wall. Taking a flashlight, she stepped into the hollowed-out opening and saw a small corridor ending in a door. It was unlocked, and Lisa entered, finding herself in some kind of room. The walls were covered with the same eerie pattern. The house hides another house. Lisa heard music coming from a phonograph surrounded by lit candles. A terrifying creature with a human body and the head of a boar was approaching Lisa. She was so terrified that she couldn't even move. But as the creature took another step, Lisa bolted. She got lost among the rooms, unable to understand where she was. Lisa kept running and stumbled upon an open barred door. A key lay on the floor. In a hurry Lisa locked the door. The creature approached, reaching out its hand. Lisa had no idea what this place was. To make matters worse, the batteries in her flashlight had died. Lisa found herself in yet another room, with stuffed animals mounted on the walls. Here, she found a lamp. Suddenly a man called out to her, urging her to stay calm and hand him the lamp. He said that staying here was not an option. Lisa had no choice but to follow the stranger. He removed several floorboards, and they hid inside, listening to footsteps above them. This hiding place was something the stranger had clearly used before. The floor creaked under the weight of whatever was up there, whoever it was. And it was certainly not human. Lisa and the stranger didn't even dare to breathe, afraid to make the slightest sound. When the footsteps faded away, the stranger explained that they were the others. The stranger intended to lead Lisa out of here. There weren't even any windows. He explained that he had been wandering through this house for years, but he had never found himself in the same room twice. Lisa couldn't comprehend how that was possible. Eventually they managed to find their way back, arriving in the room with the phonograph and candles. But beyond that, there was a dead end. Lisa thought she was losing her mind. The stranger stated that there was an exit, but no one knew exactly where it was. Lisa lost consciousness, and when she woke up, she realized that it hadn't been a nightmare. She was trapped in this endless house with this strange man. There was no way to tell the time because all the clocks had stopped. When she asked how he got here, the stranger explained that on a rainy night, he had entered the house, thinking it was abandoned. And he hadn't seen any dead man in the chair. The stranger was about to go fetch water, and the thought of being left alone filled Lisa with terror. Finally the man introduced himself. His name was Julien Fauget. While he was away, Lisa barricaded the door with a dresser, just in case. She still couldn't grasp what was happening. Suddenly someone began pounding on the door, forcing Lisa to freeze in fear. Through a gap, she saw a fair-haired girl and decided to follow her. The mysterious girl appeared in one place then another, preventing Lisa from catching her. Julien returned, strongly advising Lisa not to go out alone next time. The girl had been a trap. The house created mirages to confuse its captives. Julien had a secret hideout nearby, one that no one else knew about. Lisa wondered who kept lighting the candles in the house. The laws of physics didn't seem to work here. Julien led Lisa to his hideout. Over 3 years, he had drawn a rough map of this endless house. The red door was the way out, according to a man he had met before Lisa. They had survived together for several months, but then that man disappeared. By now Lisa was starving. The only food here was stale bread. Still, Lisa was relieved that she wasn't stuck in this labyrinth alone. It was time to rest and sleep, but Lisa couldn't. Among the items Julien had collected during his wanderings, she found a medallion, one that looked very familiar to her. Lisa asked Julien once again if he had seen a girl with long blonde hair. Julien explained that the house used the dead to keep them trapped. That girl had indeed been Lisa's sister. And now Lisa wanted Julien to take her to the room where she had seen the girl. Julien reminded her that they needed to focus on finding the red door. Lisa said she knew something about the red door. It had been drawn on the will. The quote from the Bible might be a clue. And Lisa would tell Julien everything she knew, on the condition that he took her to that room. Julien eventually relented. When they entered the room, Lisa asked him to wait outside the door. Perhaps the house was deliberately trying to separate them, but Lisa had seen her late sister and could not ignore it. Left alone, Lisa looked around and saw human remains on the bed. A creak sounded nearby. Barely holding back her emotions, Lisa called her sister's name, Sophie. Lisa stepped into the wardrobe leading to a dark corridor and followed the sounds, only to run into a man in an old military uniform. He told her that her sister was not here. Sophie was waiting for Lisa behind the red door in the great forest. The man also handed Lisa an old black and white photograph of himself and Julien. Apparently in the past, they had both been soldiers. As agreed, Julien waited for Lisa outside the door. When she returned, Julien admitted that he had entered the house on November 7, 1916. Though he did not age, he was not dead, otherwise he would not feel hunger. Time flowed differently here. It meant that more than 100 years had passed since Julien had been trapped here. In the photograph, he was with Charles, his best friend. They had been in the war together, and Charles had died. Lisa told Julien that Charles wanted to speak with him. But Julien refused, insisting that his friend had long been dead. What Lisa had seen was just a mirage, and her sister could not be behind the red door because the red door was the way out. Lisa recalled the Bible quote mentioned in the will, hinting at the location of the exit. Julien suggested that there might be a chapel somewhere upstairs. He usually avoided that place, but they definitely needed to check. Julien believed that his meeting with Lisa was not a coincidence but fate. He felt that to leave the house, they had to stay together. In a vast room, they saw a man standing motionless among the candles. They approached cautiously but received no reaction. Julien explained that this man was becoming one of the others. He was merging with the house, undergoing transformation. There was no way to help him anymore. Hearing footsteps, Lisa and Julien quickly hid, watching as people entered the chapel, looking disoriented. Those who had been in the house for a long time had undergone severe metamorphoses, turning into monsters. To disguise themselves, Julian and Lisa smeared themselves with ashes and continued their journey through the house. Along the way, they encountered one of the others. Julian pinned the mutant against the wall, demanding to know where the chapel was. But the mutant was no longer capable of speech, only gestures. Before more of the others could appear, Julian and Lisa ran, and the path indeed led them to the chapel. Now they had to figure out what to do next. The mutants had caught their scent and were already there. While Julian held the door, Lisa searched for an exit, recalling the clue mentioned in the will. And under the ceiling, she found a tunnel. They crawled through the tunnel, but a locked door blocked their way. The others were still chasing them. Lisa and Julian pounded on the door so desperately that they left bloody marks on it. Lisa realized that this was the red door, their way out. At that moment the door opened easily, leading them into a room resembling a stage, with a forest backdrop instead of a back wall. The mutants were already on their heels. Without hesitation Julian and Lisa stepped onto the stage, and suddenly the props transformed into a real forest, shrouded in mist. Lisa and Julian kept running forward until they lost sight of each other. The mist made everything invisible. Suddenly Julian saw Charles ahead and bolted in the opposite direction. He was surrounded by mutants. Julian drew his dagger, preparing to fight, while Lisa wandered through the fog. She was so exhausted that at one point she simply lay down on the ground. Then music caught her attention, and Lisa followed the sound, picking up Julian's antique pocket watch from the ground. The mist began to clear, and moments later Lisa found herself lying in a sunlit forest. The colors around her were no longer so dull. Seeing her sister, Lisa ran after her, which led her to an old wooden house by a lake. Lisa knocked on the door. A woman opened it, inviting her inside. Lisa hesitantly stepped in, realizing she was still in the labyrinthine house. The woman introduced herself as Rose, assuring Lisa that she was safe here. Rose did not know anyone named Julian, but she knew someone else, the one who was waiting for Lisa upstairs. Seeing Sophie, Lisa wept with joy and hugged her. The girl had been waiting for her sister for many years. Rose had promised that Lisa would come one day. The sisters lay on the grass under a sun that never set. Lisa gave Sophie her locket, telling her that the one she liked had found it, and his name was Julian. Rose watched the sisters from the house. They could barely remember their mother now, only fragments: her smile, her hands and their hair, her bedtime stories. Sophie hopes that Lisa will stay here with her forever. Rose kindly assigned Lisa a separate room, saying that they are truly happy here. It was time for dinner. Lisa had missed real food so much that she ate greedily, bringing a smile to Sophie's face. Later, Lisa showed her sister the pocket watch that Julian had dropped in the forest. At that moment Sophie admitted that she knew Julian. He was being punished. But Sophie was forbidden to talk about it. Lisa noticed that the scar from the dog bite was missing from Sophie's hand. But the girl didn't remember ever being bitten by a dog. Maybe Julian was right, and these weren't their loved ones at all, just mirages created by the house? Since this place never had a night, Lisa couldn't fall asleep. Taking advantage of the fact that Sophie was asleep and Rose was outside, Lisa searched the house for answers. Hearing laughter outside, Lisa approached the window and saw Rose and Sophie playing hide and seek. Later, Lisa suggested playing riddles with her sister. When it was Lisa's turn to ask, she questioned how to leave this house. But Sophie didn't want Lisa to go, and in any case Rose wouldn't let her. Lisa suggested they find Julian and escape together. It seemed that Rose suspected something. She knew that once Lisa had let Sophie go swimming alone to meet a boy who had been flirting with her. And Sophie had drowned. Barely holding back her emotions, Lisa asked Rose how she had ended up in this house. Rose didn't know exactly how much time had passed. She had long since stopped counting. However, Lisa wasn't planning to stay, nor was Sophie, who begged Lisa to take her away. According to the girl, the others had taken Julian to the place where everyone ends up when they stop feeling hunger. Escaping during the day was impossible, but there was a way to make it dark. To do so, they had to get rid of Rose. At that moment the woman was praying for her wards to accept this house, which had brought them all together for a reason. Lisa tried to attack Rose from behind, but a moment's hesitation changed the balance of power. Rose threw Lisa to the ground, demanding that she accept the house. Then while Lisa struggled to catch her breath, Rose dragged Sophie into the lake as punishment, to the place where she had once found her. Grabbing a rock, Lisa knocked Rose out and desperately searched the water for her sister. Was it all happening again? Lisa could only find Sophie's locket. She hadn't saved her sister. Again. Dark storm clouds filled the sky, and night fell suddenly. Clutching the locket, Lisa cried, but soon her tears were replaced by determination. Passing through the misty forest, Lisa returned to the house and warmed herself by the candles. She had to find Julian, no matter what. The others were everywhere in the house, but Lisa no longer feared them. Smearing her face with ash, She silently took one of the others hostage and ordered him to follow her. This elderly man still retained a human appearance and even speech. He told Lisa that the one she was looking for had changed greatly. Under the shadow of the trees, time passed more slowly. Even if Lisa found Julian, they wouldn't be able to leave together. The old man no longer remembered what bread tasted like. Lisa shared a piece with him. He told her she needed to go down one floor, head north, then pass through deserts and oceans. It was far, very far. The old man was too exhausted to guide Lisa himself. The moment Lisa got distracted, he passed away for some unknown reason. She had no choice but to go alone. She once again found herself in that vast room where the others underwent the final stage of transformation. And now it was Julian. To awaken any memories or emotions in him, Lisa showed Julian his pocket watch. And it worked. Lisa helped Julian regain his former appearance. During their separation, time had flowed differently for Julian, so he had been waiting for a very long time. Lisa told him that she was 15 when her sister drowned. And she would never stop blaming herself. She also remembered how Sophie had told her that the way out of this house was in the basement. They needed to find a metal staircase leading downward. Sophie had promised Lisa that she would wait for her there and show her the exit. Julian knew where that staircase was, and he also knew that the basement was full of the others. But what awaited them once they left the house? Julian had long been dead in Lisa's time, which meant that only here could they be together. Lisa understood this. Julian would have the chance to meet Andre Benville, the owner of the house. He would tell him their story and ask him to bequeath the house to Lisa. That way she could save him. Julian would leave Lisa a message, telling her about his life and that he loved her. They descended into the basement, torches in hand. Dozens of others, having completely lost their human form, crawled toward them, emitting eerie hissing sounds. Lisa and Julian tried to drive them away with fire. Suddenly Rose appeared, and the others obediently stepped aside for her. She told Lisa and Julian that if they stayed, the house by the lake would belong to them forever. But they were willing to sacrifice their love for the sake of freedom, and they jumped into the bottomless well, finding themselves in the water. And losing each other forever. In a panic Lisa struggled to surface, but it was futile. Suddenly she saw Sophie swimming toward her. Sophie led her sister out. Breaking through to the surface, Lisa escaped from the house's grasp. She was back in her reality, in the year 2015. Running to the bustling highway, Lisa screamed with relief. She returned to the house that had been bequeathed to her by Andre and found a message from Julian inside the armchair. He had been deeply unhappy after returning to a world where Lisa did not yet exist. Julian had kept his promise. He had returned to that house but never found Andre. Apparently the house had been abandoned. Julian had decided to take the name Andre for himself and bequeath the empty house to Lisa, as well as write a book about his life. By the time he passed away, Lisa had only just been born. His only wish was for her to live a happy life, even if it was without him.